Oh my gosh, guys. I'm so dumb. Okay, hold on.
Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful. When the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you're gonna get spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Okay, so here's what happened. I got all started and everything, and I forgot to click the go live button in the dashboard. I am sick and I am just so dumb. So yeah.
Lucas says morning.
Good morning, Lucas. And also CC Trader.
CC Trader says GM, is this live?
Yeah, I was like, yes, of course it is live. Hey, but hey, CC, I saw you yesterday and you're back today, and I'm good for you for being on team. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. So I guess, I've had a practice at running through my overview already once today, so let's go through it, right? We've had a big move overnight. The United States attacked a Iranian general and killed him. This guy was very well known and popular in his country. So although this guy is kind of technically a terrorist and responsible for the deaths of many Americans, it is like a real mess. And Iran is going to be very unhappy. I mean, Iran is going to retaliate in some way. I wouldn't expect it to be through conventional warfare. All right. Probably there's going to be a lot of cyber attacks and terrorist attacks and that sort of a thing around the world. I don't know. Lucas
says investors are afraid of repercussions. Seth, which repercussions are you expecting?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Jake says, why would a war with Iran be good for Trump election?
I don't know if that is actually the case, Jake, but the conventional wisdom is going to be that any kind of military conflict is a positive for the president because Americans do not like replacing a president in the middle of a conflict. Does that make sense? So, yeah. They generally when the Americans are involved in military conflicts, the president tends to do well. I don't think that that's a straight yes or no thing. For instance, Americans were very unhappy with the way that Lyndon B. Johnson handled the Vietnam War, and he chose to not run for re-election. And who was it that replaced him again? It was, I think it was Nixon after that, right? But I think that Nixon might have just beat him regardless. Who knows? The Democrat Party was kind of, and if that had happened, maybe that would have, maybe people wouldn't say what they say now about that sort of a thing, right? But the key thing is, it would be, how does the American public feel about the U.S. military involvement? Anyways, you can see here oil up $3, pretty big. And then in treasuries here, pretty big. I measured the 50% of the move here is 129, so that would be probably where consolidation goes unless there is a third wave that pushes us higher. John has really been hammering this 50% thing, and I think he has a really good point, so I'm really watching that. Here in the E-mini, look at them come back. Ooh. I think, they've been trying to move up a little bit here, but at the moment, it doesn't look like the time is right for them to move. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at. And then over here in the DOM, we got a big stack at 050. So, and we've had a couple of little spikes in there. Yeah. So in terms of repercussions, I would not expect like conventional military retaliation off of this. I mean, here's the thing. Um, Iran was doing something that they shouldn't have been doing. Like, why was the Iranian military commander in Iraq, foreign country, leading militia groups? Right? Can you imagine? Can you imagine if the military commander of Mexico was wandering around the United States with militia groups, attacking the U.S. government? Right? I mean, come on. So he absolutely was a legitimate military target, but I mean, you're gonna piss Iran off. You're going to piss Iran off.
Lucas says anyways, I think it makes more sense why they bought TSYS the entire morning.
Mm-hmm.
Lucas
For
says
sure.
repercussions for investors asterisk.
I mean, who wants to have equities going into the weekend? I think that they might retrace, but I wouldn't want to be holding any kind of risk asset into this weekend. Now, on the other hand, I kind of wonder if a lot of people didn't really make their moves for the year. Yesterday was nothing but up, and I thought that the main reason to buy was because people need to build inventory and everything for the beginning of the year and the first of the month, and we do tend to see buying at that time, but I didn't expect it to be a trend. And afterwards, I thought, well, if I was somebody that really thought that interest rates were trending up, yeah,
Lucas says it just didn't make any sense.
yeah, I don't know, maybe. I was kind of thinking, if you were an investor that thought that interest rates were going to rise this year, given that the market was pricing in a rate cut and the Federal Reserve is saying they're not going to do anything next year, so that probably means interest rates rise a little bit. Why would you put that trade on yesterday? Why not wait for the Monday where you don't have to deal with a weekend and you don't have to deal with the beginning of the month buying and you get a better price? So maybe that's why they were able to trend yesterday. I don't think that they knew the military strikes were coming, though. I don't think that happened. I don't think that anybody knew until that happened, which was late last night. The whole thing is pretty wild stuff, though. And I don't know. The bigger question is going to be, how does this affect Middle East policies in the future? Like, of course, Iran is probably going to step up like their terrorist attacks and that sort of a thing. But then if they do that sort of thing, does the US continue to strike back to deter them? Because honestly, I mean, look, they were in they were in another country. Like, this guy was in another country leading military groups around the country on terrorist strikes. And up until now, the US has just kind of been sitting back and like acting, like they don't care. This is a really big change. This is, they're doing what would have been the conventional United States thing, which is don't make us mad because we'll destroy you. Huh? Mm-hmm.
Lucas says call me crazy, but we had a lot of moves that didn't make sense then later did when he hear news. Lucas says in the last year.
Yeah, we certainly do. We certainly do.
Jake says yeah, but Tish does not help with anything.
Tish? Yeah, I don't know. I think that was maybe a phone mistake, but he would probably correct himself. I mean, he was probably saying this does not help with anything. No, you're right. But the question is going to be, in future policy decisions, how does it affect them? Like, obviously, we're not going to be trying to set up a nuclear deal with Iran anymore, right? There's no way Iran makes a deal with us after all this. No way. So, I don't know. Some icebergs here at 03.5 and 04. I don't know. I kind of don't like making the trade here. Actually, I take that back. I love making the trade here, like off the VWAP bounce, but I don't know if that makes sense or not. You know what? I should probably have some VWAP on here. I find it difficult to read without the VWAP on here. Order flow VWAP. Oh, it doesn't show because I don't have tick replay on. Oh, I do have tick. Cool. So they're kind of fiddling around with it. Visual. Area opacity. That's what we need. There we go. And where did I get this? These lines. Excuse me, guys.
Lucas says they were attacking in US this morning, I think. Lucas says, I think we can call this value area after all the up move from yesterday and the beginning of this day's session. At least until news at 10 a.m.
Right. So, well, and this is the other thing is that we've got the Fed notes today, right? Oh man. You know what? I did not take my decongestant. Let me go do that. Whoa. Ugh. There we go. I tell you what, whatever I caught is nasty. Like, I was going to bed well, and you know, like I was being super healthy, and I still caught it. Let's see here, a couple of things on Twitter here. How goes buying on hopes of not QE2? Turkish foreign ministry says deeply concerned by rising tensions between the United States and Iran, says it is clear the U.S. air operation will increase insecurity and instability in region. Okay, so they're worried that that Turkey is going to deny United States use of its airfields. Now, if man, whoa, don't worry, guys, we'll get through this. If Turkey no longer allows the United States to use its airfields, then there is no reason for them to be in NATO anymore. Why did Trump order those officials to be killed, though? It was absolutely retaliation for the attack on the embassy. I mean, come on. In retrospect, Mr. What was his name? Oh, I mean, maybe I shouldn't speak to him because, he's dead. So, Mr. Supreme Leader, in retrospect, that was a really dumb move, okay? Because the U.S. Embassy is considered United States ground, and the United States should defend that ground, and everybody's all triggered from this Benghazi thing. So, of course, Donald Trump's going to overreact to it, and I think that any other president might have as well. So yeah.
Lucas says, did those officials order the attack?
Yes. In fact, the Pentagon put out a statement stating that they ordered the attack. So whether or not that was the truth, I don't know. There was a lot of people last night I saw denying that the U.S. was directly responsible. I'm sorry for all my gross sounds, guys. They were denying that if the U.S. was directly responsible because they were saying, oh, it might have just been the local governments and these guys and stuff. And the report even said that the missile that was used was not a U.S. missile. But the Pentagon has taken responsibility. So, who knows? It might have been the case that somebody had an itchy trigger finger and the United States is just taking responsibility for it anyways. Because that's what Trump wants, but I don't know. I tell you what, the thing that I hate about all this is that it's so hard to read news when everybody is so uppity about Donald Trump everything. Donald Trump's not everything. But it seems to color everybody's opinion of literally everything. So you got all of these people online practically mourning the death of a terrorist because Donald Trump did it. But if Barack Obama had done this, there wouldn't anybody be saying this is a dangerous escalation and this and that. No. You know what they would be saying? Well, the attack on the U.S. Embassy was a dangerous escalation. Because it was. You're attacking U.S. grounds. It's that sort of a thing. It's just kind of a little frustrating to watch. You know what? I'm looking at my chart here, and I don't like there's too many lines. This one over here, I don't know where I got these lines from. I just need to remove all of these horizontal rays. There we go. And this line, and this line. Cool. Or as in they're like drawing, remove all drawing objects. Yes, there we go. Much better. Much better. You know what? The funny thing is looking at it, I never got like a purple bar or anything like that. Did over in equities. Equities sure looks like that they just want to rebalance. I don't know how I feel about the location though. Maybe if I had gotten 26. That's all in retrospect. 2 charts you need to ignore or rationalize away in 2020 unless you're a bear. Well, Zero hedge. Oh, you're so good at getting my clicks. The Fed's monthly 60 billion not QE versus the US stock market. Operating income is flat at best. Yeah, here's the thing about not QE too that I'm starting to wonder. It seems to me that the not QE2 is just there to keep the banks going, which is okay. But the market just seems to be in a mood where all they want to do is buy, which I'm not so sure is healthy. You know, it would have been if it wasn't for all of this volatility that we had earlier in the year. I feel like that now is a good time for the stock market to give up a little bit, right? But it's not. Like, if they let the stock market go, then would they be able to pull it back? I don't think so. So they almost have to keep bumping it. Jake wants to short AMD.
Jake says short AMD.
You know, let's pull up some charts, shall we? I don't get, with Ninja Trader, we don't get stock data. So let's come over to TradingView, which is what I use for that. I should just pay for the big TradingView, but I digress. Okay, so here's my Goldman Sachs. Now, we need to go on a daily chart. Let me just make this big. Okay, so there's our treasuries. So notice Goldman Sachs actually finally breaking through some pretty hard resistance up here. Yesterday at least. Where are they going to open up today? Like, what if they open below 27 or 28 or so? Oh man. That's the one that I hold, and I only hold it because they gave it to me. And I'm in for the long haul. So you were talking AMD, right? Oh my. They were up big the first day of the year, huh? I don't know, man. I mean,
JB says you can load stock charts in Ninja and use kinetic end of day data free to load your stock chart info.
Oh, really? Let's try that. Sure. Let's try that. Duplicate a new window. Okay. Let's see here. I would have to set up my kinetic data first, though. Let's see here. No, end of day. It's on there. I just don't connect to it for some reason. Okay. So will this allow me to, well, let's go to a daily chart for starters. Okay, that works.
JB says just open a blank daily chart.
Yeah. Search for AMD. I don't know, it's not loading. Oh wait, I didn't connect to it. Okay. Cool. Anyways, that's pretty high. I'm not gonna lie. I remember, man. Would've, could've. When I first started doing trading, I would take I would go to Google Investing, which isn't around anymore, so I can't show you the stuff. I used to still be able to show you, but I would put together like a portfolio of 5 stocks, and I would swing trade those 5, and I did okay. Like, I would just enter in the orders manually, and like I doubled my money or something like that between then and when the market like really took a dive. And around the time that the market really took a dive was when I realized that like it was a lot easier to just trade the index. And so that's when I got interested in futures. And then I got interested in treasuries because the treasuries are just so much, there's just so much fun stuff with treasuries. But AMD was one of the ones that I really liked to play with. And I remember it being like $5. And now it's almost 50. Like, wow. 10 bagger could have been in it. I was like, because I was a tech guy, so I was like, well, you should invest in the things that you know. So I was like, okay, Google, AMD, Nvidia, those are all like big now. Oh well. But I don't know, man. Like going short on something like a rip like that is like, maybe it'll work out for you as a scalp if you've got a good strategy for it. But I always stay away from those. I don't like to fight something that's trending. They fool me into doing it every time anyways, but I don't like fading something that's trending. So the treasuries have just kind of been tinkering around here on the hourly basis and going pretty much nowhere in the first 30 minutes
Jake
of trading.
Jake says YOLO is my strat.
YOLO is my strat. Well, good luck to you, but my suggestion is that every day is a new life and that you should live to see tomorrow, okay? So don't waste too much. I wonder also there's like these white bars up here. I mean the downside that we had down to where we're at in the treasuries makes sense to me. I also kind of see here some guys trying to go long into this 4.5 area. So I guess they're trying to hit into it. That's a pretty decent stack at 0.3 as well. So it really feels like they're trying to coax it into trading into 0.5. You don't see anything else like that in the other treasuries. Also, we haven't seen a whole lot of big bidder asks either. Like, I'm not sure. I was telling John about this the other day. We talked a lot over the holiday because we were working on some stuff. And when that tape is not clicking, don't trade. When was the last time we heard a click? It's been a while. It's been a while. Well, there was one right there. And they're trying to click them into 0.5. Well, 500 have hit it, and it's not pulling away. There's somebody earlier was saying it's for show. I'm not so sure about that now. There's not a whole lot there at 0.5, 0.5 half though. You can see the 5-year kind of iceberging it. Like the way they're acting right now, it's like they all know that they're gonna push them up into 0.5, but they all want to fade it. So I'm just all thinking like game theory and that maybe fading it at 0.50 is not the best idea. Okay, so they just traded 6,000 all at once. I didn't actually see a big order go into it. Just curious. There was a 2,000 lot almost. A 1776 Look at that. That's funny. You see it? There was a 1776 order that went through at 050. What did our aggregated tape say for that one, JB?
Uzi Knesset says you actually see that number a lot, surprisingly, lol.
Yeah. Well, I'm told that back in the old days that there was specific numbers and that you could tell who was trading it based on what the number was.
JB says which one?
It was in the 10-year at 050. 17 an order of a size 1776. Okay, Donald Trump is tweeting here. What's this? General Qasem Soleimani has killed or badly wounded thousands of Americans over an extended period of time and was plotting to kill many more but got caught. He was directly and indirectly responsible for the death of millions of people, including the recent large number of protesters killed in Iraq itself. While Iran will never be able to properly admit it, Soleimani was both hated and feared within the country. They are not nearly as saddened as the leaders will let the outside world believe. He should have been taken out many years ago. Okay, so the media line that I've been hearing has been that he is well known within the country and that Iran will almost certainly retaliate. But Donald Trump is questioning that. He is saying that maybe he was too hard of a hardliner and that a lot of people in Iran are maybe actually relieved that he's gone. That's
JB
very interesting.
Says you know better than to ask me about 10-year data.
You don't have one on the 10-year. That's okay.
JB says I never have 10-year charts open.
Yeah. Well, I have. You can't see it. Where is it? Do I not? Oh, yes, I have it right here. See, I have the tapes behind where my picture is. And like I said, it's kind of good for pace. Like one of the things that's really nice about Jigsaw is that you can you have this display duration, right? So if it's been more than 10 seconds, then they disappear. It gives you a really good idea of what the pace of orders coming through is.
JB says 30-year for me, buddy.
Yeah. See, so we've had this ongoing thing because he doesn't think that I really need to see the other instruments. He's like, you just simplify and just watch the 30-year. But I look at it and I'm like, how can you possibly do it? Because if you don't see what the other ones are doing, you might not understand why the one that you're trading is doing what it's doing, and it might be a trap. It's interesting. So they traded 79.38 up there. They shoved it back down. Oh, I didn't see the stack I was necessarily expecting. You know what? I wonder if on a 1 minute chart, can I change these
JB says lol.
boxes? Oh, yeah, and that's okay. Let's try it. Make this orange. Make this one cornflower blue, and the outlines transparent. Well, I'm wondering, I'm a little, I don't know. I wanted to see it go through the 05 and then fall back down, and they just come back so fast. There we go. Oh, I really like that.
JB says, so if your neighbor's dog is killing chickens, that means your dog is doing the same thing?
Well, okay. No. This is like, if your neighbor's dog is killing chickens, you might want to watch the movements of the other two dogs killing chickens with him. They moving it back. And that said, everything just kind of flipped. All right. We're going to try it. Need to change that.
JB says if they moved in a pack, you wouldn't have a knob spread to look at.
Well, that's not necessarily true, right?
JB says just to confuse things further.
I mean, the knob spread is in part due that they do move together, but not 100%, right? Because if they were just completely random, then it wouldn't really be a thing. But it's not completely random. And that's where I watch it, is like, okay, which way is the spread going? And then splicing out which one is buying more and selling more. And then if I see if this is the one that's going down more, because we're probably going to see flattening here, right? So, well, actually, I take that
JB
back.
says so if it's not 100%, how can you rely on it for your analysis?
This one right now, it doesn't look like the spread is moving, right? It doesn't look like the spread is moving, so it's not a factor at the moment. But the 10-year is maybe lagging a little bit. Maybe lagging a little bit. So we'll see if these guys tick down. Okay, sure. Okay, sure. But if we were seeing, like flattening, and then I came over here in the bond and I saw a lot of buying, I'll just ignore that because I know that the 10 and the 5 are going to drag it down. That's how I use it. You have to be able to use it to interpret the order flow. Otherwise, you'll trick yourself into false signals. Now on the split side, I've noticed that especially recently, the 5-year is super influential, and it's like almost not worth taking a trade unless you see the 5-year thinking about doing something. Hmm.
JB says sorry, but I disagree with that prior comment.
What, the one about the 5-year? Hmm. If I want to be in a short trade, I want to see the 5-year about to move. See, like right now.
Ace Trade says morning.
Hey, there you are, Ace. I was wondering if you were going to come in and give us a long, but like I'm just watching this one and it's not. I don't know how I feel about it. Seemed like the pressure was up, but they're not going. But right here in the 5-year, see, they ticked back, so they're going to distribute here a little bit. And in the 10 and the, well, I guess in the 30 you can see it too.
Ace Trade says short signal 3228.25.
Okay, so let's flip this. That was about at my stop anyways. I need to look at this because I don't want that. I don't like that that gets put out there. Strategy manager.
JB says I don't think your eyes and your brain can compute all of the stuff you're seeing when you look at 3 different instruments and then try to rationalize an entry.
Well, you don't look at it all at the same time.
Ace Trade says hope it holds, it's choppy this morning. Tight stop.
Yeah. It is a little choppy. Here's the thing is that okay, there has been some movement here in the treasuries, right? But it was really really slow. They came up into the 05 and then they came down. And the treasuries are still acting like they want to go back to the 50% retracement at 129. But overall, it's been pretty slow in the treasuries. It does not look to me like people are willing to take positions or move it. Like the institutions are not super active right now. Yeah. So on the 3, I'll watch. There's 2 things. One is I want to see how they're lining up. Right. And just kind of keep an eye on which way the spreads are going. And then, I'll notice something. So like if we stop, then I'm going to go back and look, okay. We stopped because of this one. Or, like right now there's a little bit of iceberging in the 5-year. Okay. But then once I have an idea of which way the flow is going and I see an actionable trade, I'm waiting to see something aberration happen within the 10-year, the one that I'm trading. And then I just, I'll see the movement of these ones out of the corner of my eye, and I'm just, if this one clicks up, I want to see them tick at the same time to confirm that the whole curve is moving. Because if this one just ticks up and then these two don't do anything, then that doesn't mean anything, right? So it's not even something you have to pay attention to. Your brain just kind of does it because it can tell that it all clicked at once or whatever. Like it sees the movement, it remembers the movement. I can almost hear it in my head. See that one? Not a big deal. Mm-mm. Well, I don't know, Ace. Usually we would have it have gone a little bit by now, huh? Okay, well, there was a good tick down. And the treasuries reacted to that one. Just a little bit. They're still fighting it out there. It took up and holding it. Seems like they like it. They like it. I mean, they're moving from that.
CC Trader says long GC ROM 1547.5 took 10 ticks off.
Okay.
CC Trader says from.
Right. From 1547.
CC Trader says holding Rinner.
Going back to the things that we're talking about earlier
CC Trader says stop B.
Before John got here, because the 50% is at 129, but I also only saw 2 moves. So could there be another run higher in the treasuries? before they decide to settle down? I don't know. I still feel like there's a limited number of people in the markets, but that might change when the equity markets open. What is worse for the Iranian regime is that the death itself, what is worse for the Iran regime than the death itself is that the US have publicly claimed the attack doing nothing would mean for Iran humiliation on top of the defeat, admitting publicly its weakness.
Ace Trade says 2 points.
Yes, good job. They were running on that, so I think we should hold this, right? Oh. Oh man, I'm looking at this. So there was an area around 23, 24, and there was an area around 15, 16. Okay, 24 and 16. But when you look at where 16 is, like, woo, that's down there. Okay, a little bit of absorption there, though. No, we still got 15 minutes before the open. Scott Adams' impeachment is so last year. Now, this is another interesting thing that I had not thought about until Scott Adams just pointed it out there. Democrats, yesterday, they were like, oh, here's some documents that prove that the administration must have been responsible for withholding the aid, which I think probably they were, right? And they're treating this as a serious revelation. And the way that they're doing it makes me think that they always knew that that was out there, but they were waiting until after Christmas to have maximum impact. So they come out. It comes out after Christmas. Most people yawn. And then this Iran thing comes and completely overshadows it. And nobody cares about impeachment anymore. Just saying, Pelosi. Just saying.
CC Trader says flat gold here.
Okay.
CC Trader says just scalp.
Yeah. I'm watching here in the treasuries. This, there was that move down and then this move back up, and the move back up is already retraced 2 points. So it kind of looks to me like some robots and short-term traders were trying to ride momentum and stuff. So we're still in the spot of there's not enough people playing to really make it run. Not in the treasuries, at least. Maybe the E-mini, though. Maybe they're really try selling it. I have to wonder, since they've reached these levels over here, they want to go lower. But who knows what they actually do.
Ace Trade says, folks, don't forget to hit that like button.
No, thank you. I haven't said anything about that today. Hit that like button. Listen, I know that clicking on things is fun, I have that problem myself, over trading, clicking too much. So if you feel that need, like you need to click on something, click the like button. You know, much safer thing to click. Just keep in mind that once you click that like button, you are indentured to me for the rest of your life. No, no, of course not. Costs you nothing to click it. Um, yes, exactly. Was it not reading it?
Ace Trade says
There we
no
go.
one ever lost money clicking on a like button for Seth's room.
He's right. Nobody ever lost money clicking the like button, guys. There was that one time you guys clicked the dislike, and I was very disappointed. But you know what? It's your choice. You have your agency. You can click the like button, or you can click the dislike, or you can just sit there and focus on your trades. They're kind of creeping down there, but I don't know if they're quite ready to break it yet in the E-mini. So do you see how when the E-mini ticks down a little bit that the offers in the treasuries pull? Like that? Pulled and they ticked up, but the treasuries
Ace
held it.
Trade says but people do lose money not following my live calls.
Well, that's not losing money. That would be like if they traded against them, and maybe they could lose money. I've lost money trading against Ace's live calls. Oh man, there was that one the other day with the big day when Ace went short, and I was still in my long, and I was like, well, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Ace could, only lose like 2 points, and it's no big deal. Should have just reversed right then and there, man. In retrospect, probably my worst call ever. hmm. See, they're kind of starting to pick it up, but they're not ready to go yet.
Ace Trade says 3 points available this morning.
Yeah. I'm liking it so far. I'm glad that I was able to admit that I was wrong on that one and see that it was at the -5, so I could just get out. But then that I was also confident enough with Ace coming in to then reverse it. It made sense. I was like, well, mine isn't working, so let's try the other way. Yeah. So I'm getting the thing in the E-mini where it kind of feels like they're absorbing every step of the way. Note as well here in the treasury's still not holding like the O3 area. Not reacting to the downticks as much anymore either.
Ace Trade says news at 8 and 9 o'clock.
Yeah. What was the one at the top of the hour again? ISM. Then 9 is the crude oil inventory. Oh, really? It's not crude. Oh, man. I didn't realize that because of the holiday they moved the crude oil inventories. And with the Iran thing today, that's going to be interesting. Oh, man. Treasury's ticked up there again. Okay. So that 025 is absorbing now. Okay. So now a touch at 25. Yeah. Okay. So that's the lowest they've been. I mean, treasuries are up a little bit, but they still don't seem too concerned yet. That absorption is possibly viable, though. I'm not seeing. I'm not seeing the moves in the treasuries before the equities. Like normally we would see some iceberging here, and I'm not seeing it. Maybe that's because they just don't have a position to take off. Okay. Now that's curious. Everything downticked at the same time. Okay. Now that E-mini is starting to sweep a little bit. E-mini is starting to accelerate.
Ace Trade says 2 minutes to open, lock in some profit.
Yeah, good point. Let's do that one at least. I'm actually thinking about. Yeah. I'm just gonna get out. Okay.
Lucas says lock in more.
I might regret this, but I think that 5 points is really good.
Ace Trade says at Lucas morning buddy.
And I thought that move just now, there was a lot of volume and it kind of crescendoed down. So I suspect that it's not going to do anything until they
Lucas
open.
says howdy Ace. How's New Year so far?
And I don't necessarily want to bet on the open, especially since, well, I don't know. I really don't know.
Ace Trade says at LE.
You can go short.
Ace Trade says at Lucas it's been great, and 5 points so far today.
Good job. Oh, look, 6 points. No, I'm going to let them open first, okay? Okay, well, they're selling like right into it.
Lucas says 5 points, way to start the year.
Yeah, good job. It's a good trade. Thank you for that one. I don't know. Like the first impulse is actually a long, right? That's interesting. I don't know. Okay, so I got out at 25, right? No. It's 23. I got out at
Lucas
23.
says yes, good call.
I got out at 23. I did the right thing. I mean, that one was I kind of emotional for me because I mean it was a great trade and everything, but I was like, well, but why is everything selling? Why is everything selling? And it just made me uncomfortable. So I was like, well, look, I made 5. Like, let's just take our win. It was a good call. Like, look, right now it's above where I got in. Man, so the treasury's really pushed there. Look at that spike. People crowding in now. And they can make it to 129. I mean, if we think we could do 129, we could sell it here in the treasuries for sure.
Lucas says let's wait him in.
The downside in the equities seems a lot more attractive, but I don't know if that really like let's do a little measurement here. So if I go from this high at 63, this bottom here, 50% is 32.36. 32.36. I'm going to put in here an H for half. All right. Let's see if they get to there. Buyers are still pushing. The treasuries pulled back a little bit from there, though. Hmm. $35, $36. Okay. There's your 50%, John. Look at that. They're absorbing here.
Lucas says crazy S push. Ace Trade says it Lucas.
You get a short signal up here? Where's my... Okay.
Lucas says it ACE Trades. Ace Trade says it Lucas. Yeah, I got a long signal at it hit my last contract at my entry point.
Keep an eye for a short. Oh, it's maybe already too late. I'm not confident enough. I feel like it's already gone too far. In fact, now that I'm seeing absorption at 33, that was the move. Should have just taken it. Oh well. What was that? 3 points? I don't know if I'm built out for a move that quick. They're buying it back up. This really feels like stop everybody out, right? They stopped everybody out short. Now they're stopping everybody out long. Treasuries do seem to be kind of trying to lead it, though, and the treasuries are moving up a little bit. See them right there, 33.
Ace Trade says yeah, I won't get a short till clear back down near 30.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Okay. I don't know. I mean, I definitely saw it there at 36. So technically, we could take in it and still be in it, but I don't know. I think I'm still a little too cautious. You know, I've been battered up a little bit. That winner today that we got in the E-mini, that feels good, though. Zero Hedge commenting that the open was very bullish. Yeah, and that's kind of another problem is like, do you really want to short the E-mini after that open? I mean, don't get me wrong, it could totally go back down and collapse, but... And they did only just retrace, and still not seeing like huge guys in the market. Although, look at how in the treasuries, All those guys got in short, and then it immediately sucked back up. L Rain, with U.S. markets now fully open and trading, one way of judging the relatively muted reaction for now is in terms of a range anchored by imminent war at one end and effectively restoring deterrence at the other end. Overall price action suggests a balance more towards the latter, meaning effectively restoring
Lucas says yes,
deterrence.
there's some shorts trapped there. At
At 01.5. No, the thing though is I don't really think that they stopped him out. Mm. I hope that by Monday I'm feeling better. Okay, so we got an inside bar there on the 5 minutes. So a break of 20, 32, 32. And we're green on the hour.
Lucas says, but who knows, lol. Lucas says still, I don't feel like this will run lower before news. Ace Trade says short signal 3233.25, but I'd be cautious.
Yeah, the time frame doesn't necessarily make sense, nor does the way that the treasuries are clicking. No, I went too far past it.
Ace Trade says I'm not willing to give any back this morning.
Yeah.
I think I'm done for the day.
Well, here's the thing. Uh, um, we have an expansion, and then we want to see it come back to 50%. 36 was 50%. That means they're balanced. If I was a big portfolio manager, like I would be saying the same thing, right?
Lucas says you can start your weekend with 5 points in your pocket.
Yeah, it was like, okay, well, we caught something, and like, let's just be done. Okay, treasuries don't seem to agree. Treasuries are selling that. Ooh, that was a robot.
Lucas says crazy machine gun action.
Yeah, I would be super risky, but we could maybe take that as she goes, you know?
Ace Trade says at Lucas, yup, that is a good Friday.
Right, like right there. I don't think they'd even get filled. Oh, we'll see. So, like that suggests that we could take it long in the E-mini. What just happened there? $36, let's say. Oh, actually, it was $36.25. Too late. I think my new rule is if I put something in, I'm not chasing it 2 ticks. If it's more than 2 ticks, I'm not buying it there. There's 129. Okay, well, I think that what we did here today was big progress because um I I was able to predict where it was going to go. Like the price was correct, and kind of the what is it, tricky way that they went about getting there. But I don't necessarily see, like if I look in the treasuries there, for instance, you know, the point at which I would have been like, oh yeah, let's go, is when they breached 0.5, and you could see that when everybody tried
JV
getting
says
into it.
128, 315 is the middle of my bull bear zone. Nice little
Okay.
bounce there.
Like that's where I would have tried going in, and you can see how that was such a bad idea, right? But then they came back up and then they went. So could you have gotten short here at 0.2? Yeah. Well, of course you could have gotten short, but I'm not quite sure what would have been like the signal that it was safe to do it at that spot. So, yeah. Now look at that. That 361 would could have gotten 3 points. The thing is now that they're going well past the 50%, I'm almost wondering if they want to try and retrace the whole thing. But, I mean, there's news at the top of the hour. I don't know if that ISM is going to be great. They're looking for a reading of 39.1. US ISM New York, December current business index 39.1. Oh, that was the... No, that wasn't the one that I was looking for. The one at the top of the hour. 49.0 with a previous of 48.1. So they expect it to be negative. If it's under 49, then that would probably be really bad. Of course, if it's above 50, then that might be really bullish.
Ace Trade says that cough sounds bad. Are you going into work? If not, maybe a hot bath soak, orange juice, and sleep.
Well, I went in yesterday. Maybe I shouldn't have. I don't think I'm contagious anymore. Could be wrong, but... And yeah, the cough is pretty bad. Like if I wasn't taking a cough suppressant, I would probably just be coughing nonstop and be completely raw by now. I guess I can work from home today. Okay, so there's something going on here at 37.75. Yep.
Ace Trade says I was going in today, but then I picked up all those points, and my boss told me to take the rest of the day off and go sledding.
Wait, did it snow last night or something? I didn't look outside.
Lucas says even your boss was impressed. Ace Trade says no, but we still have some on the ground. School isn't back in session till Monday.
Yeah, that's right. I wonder what my kids are. You know what? I'm just. this This is so dumb, right? So I think maybe part of it is because of my ADHD medication, but I just feel like, okay,
Ace Trade
like you
says at
should do
Lucas he
something
is the worst
productive.
and best boss I have ever had, and I'm his worst and best employee he ever had. Lol.
I it, okay, so over the holiday weekend, I started doing something that I'm not proud to admit. Okay, but I'm trying to be real with you guys all here. So here's the awful thing that I did that I don't want to admit, but I played League of Legends over the Christmas holiday. Like all of those games that I like vowed to never play, like I've been playing. And it's just like every other game sucks right now, and like that's like been the popular game for as long as I can remember. So I'm like, fine, I'll play a freaking MOBA because I need something to grind. I spent a lot of time programming too, of course. But by the afternoon, you got to do something else, right? So when the kids have a free day, I'm like, oh well, they should be doing something productive. But then I think back and I'm like, oh yeah, but when I was a kid, I didn't do anything productive with that time. So let them just be be kids. So I don't know what they're gonna do today, but I bet you it's not gonna be very productive. Hmm. Well, they formed another inside bar there. It kind of feels to me like the E-mini is petering out. And the Treasury's completed the move. I don't see much of a
Ace
reason
Trade
for them
says
to do
long
anything.
signal 3237.75. Sorry, I was slow with
Oh,
that.
really? I don't know. Like you get the 2 points on that one. I think if I had taken that one, I would have only wanted to get the 2 points. But I mean, like we got this news in 10 minutes, right? So like they've basically rebalanced, and then we'll have the news in 10 minutes, and then maybe if the news is a big surprise, then we could have a whole nother set of chaos, right? So let's just hmm.
Ace Trade says that was crap, turned into a short.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, it just barely broke the inside bar there. Uh, somebody commented on one of my videos, and they're like, "Hey, I could teach you what to do for $100,000," and I'm like, okay, that's not happening." Hmm. Treasury's getting sucked back up, but I bet they're gonna have real problems if they try to get over one half. Ooh. Now on the
Ace
other
Trade says
hand,
100k? Wow, that is pretty steep.
Yeah, right? Where was it? For 100K, I can teach you how to trade. You'll make it back, provided we sign a non-disclosure agreement. You can't talk about it to anybody for the rest of your life. Okay. That's not gonna happen, buddy. Sorry. Here's the thing. I'd much rather do it my way. Obviously, some of the things I'm doing right now are wrong.
Ace Trade says if I had a 100K ID, just buy a car wash and generate 6K a month forever.
A car wash? Wow, you can make 6K a month from a car wash? I can't really think of anywhere around here that would
Ace
be a good
Trade
place
says
to put
just kidding, I'd put it into my trading account and trade on 20 contracts.
Yeah, there you go. No, I always think like going back to this thing where we're saying like fake people have appearances to hold up, but real people just don't really actually care.
Kaka Silva says WW3.
No, I don't think it's gonna be World War III, Kaka. But let's say that you did something that made you popular and all of that sort of stuff. But it was fake, it wasn't really genuinely you. You just did it because that was what was popular. Well, now you're like obligated to be doing that. Like everybody would say, why aren't you doing it this way? And like, I feel like it would be the same. Like if you trade and you're successful with something but it wasn't something that you figured out and then it stops working. What do? You won't know what to do. And all of these guys, they always come in with this idea, and this is the idea that I think is wrong, that I think kills everybody, is this idea that you can there's this one thing that you got to learn, and if you know that one thing, then you can be successful in markets for the rest. Excuse me. If you don't know that one thing, you can be successful in markets for the rest of your life. It's not true. It's not true. Like the strategy will always change. And if you haven't gone through the experience of figuring it out, then you're going to have a really hard time adjusting if you're just using something that was given to you.
Ace Trade says at Kaka Silva, don't panic, we got this. Utah National Guard can handle the girls over in Iraq. Lucas says 2020 is your year, Seth.
Oh, thank you guys. Let's not put too much pressure.
On the hour in 3 minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes. Interesting that move retraced as far as it did in treasuries. They might have actually overdone it a little bit there at 02. I think a 1/2 may be worth a short, in fact. But that would be like
Ace Trade says those guys on Chat with Traders always mention that what they were using often stops working at some point. I find that interesting.
Yeah. It seems to me that anytime I find something that works, it works for about a month and a half and then it stops working. Market figures it out, man. Especially when you're sharing it with everybody on YouTube. That's why I started getting a little bit more vague about what I was doing.
Air Cages says hello.
Hey, buddy, how's it going? What do you think about the sell in Bitcoin? Where are they? They're right back up where they were, aren't they? I think Bitcoin bought off of the yep, sure, why not? That sell was ugly. Was looking ugly, and oh, how come I can't see? Oh, you know what? That chart is wrong. Hold on a second. That chart is wrong. Roll over. There you go. Okay, so that was like a really ugly sell, and then this Iran thing is like, okay, why not? Sure, why not? Risk off. That's good for Bitcoin because everything is good for Bitcoin to those guys. It makes me learn. I would be a little nervous though. Like they were ready to sell it, and you guys just gave them another really great spot to go short. Okay, here comes the news. Could, for the heck of it. Five seconds. Up. Oh, wow. It was bad.
Lucas says you said it was going to be bad, lol.
Did I say it was going to be bad? I don't know. I'm surprised the treasuries just did what they did. Holy shit. Holy shit. How? Whoa. How did they? What the fuck? They really went, man. What
JB
was it?
says stop machine gun on your MDT chirp.
47 spot 2? What? What a spike. Holy crap. Well, I'm having a hard time catching a good spot in the equities here.
Eric Cages says this is good for Bitcoin.
This is good for Bitcoin. It's the lowest since June of 2009.
JB says you must be loving that short at 129.015 now.
Oh, yeah, no. Could not have been more wrong about that one, huh? Oops. Shit.
Lucas says well you were not wrong about news outcome.
No. I mean, like the thing was I thought that the balance was to the down. Like I thought that if the number was good, that was going to move treasuries. So the news coming out and the treasuries moving that high up was really shocking to me. I completely misjudged the positioning, but it makes sense. I mean, they were going short before, right? So, well. All right. I'm having some real issues here. What's my problem? 32.
Ace Trades says correction, with 100K, I'd trade on 66 contracts. That is $3,300 per point.
There you go. how I would have given it to me. I'm overthinking it, man. I don't know. Maybe I should just cool it.
Ace Trade says at 2 points a day, that is $132,000 per month, $1.5 million a year. Thanks, Obama.
Thanks, Obama. See how it goes, right? The reaction in equities is really curious.
Air Cages says I predict that Bitcoin is going to break 20K sometime this year.
Didn't you say that last year? All right. What the heck? Last one.
Lucas says few man that short at 055 was scary, out +2. Ace Trade says at Air Cages okay, I'll put all my money into Bitcoin I guess, thanks for the tip.
mm.
Air Cages says I said 9K last year.
Oh, you said 9K? I'm more interested in if they have another shortfall in the first quarter.
Lucas says at ACE Trades wait. I have some money to toss at BTC as well, take my money as well.
So if that was so bad for treasuries, why is it that equity is sitting here and saying, "Hey, bad is good"? Because this is not really going down, is it? We're still at the 36 halfway
Ace Trade
point.
says at Lucas sell everything you have, that is what I am going to do, and let's put it into Bitcoin. Seth, you in?
And in fact, the hour is still positive. It's not until we get to like 20 that it becomes negative. I mean, if I ever got my price in Bitcoin, then I would get in, but it seems like that they just don't ever want to let it happen.
Air Cages says thanks guys. This is financial advice. Lucas says I am down, we'll switch to eat peanut butter sandwich from now on, that's how sure I am.
I don't know, guys. I'm just like dead wrong on all of these for some reason.
Ace Trades says it Lucas without the bread.
That last one, I kind of felt like I was just clicking though, you know?
Lucas says and without the peanut butter lol.
And all things considering, the treasuries are actually pretty range bound since, aren't they?
Air Cages says to be fair, nobody thought Bitcoin would rip from 3K to 14K last year either.
Man, I don't know. Most of the Bitcoin people thought that it was going to go to 20K last year. Like, so there was this post on the anti-Bitcoin subreddit that was like all of the predictions that people had made that year, and it was this huge list, and it was quite funny to read. I don't know about this, guys. It looks like a bunch of people went short and all, and now they're all getting screwed over.
JB says your MES trade was put on during an inside bar that had not yet closed.
Yeah, you're right. Right, the last one I was saying, I was like, I think that last one was
Air Cages
just
says I
clicking and
remember most people were
ill-advised.
waiting for 1K when Bitcoin was at 3K.
Yeah, was it at 3K this year? I think. I don't know. Like,
Ace Trade says at Lucas there is a famous saying mountain climbers always use, hey, if we had some bacon, we could have bacon and eggs, if we had eggs.
I just feel like that with Bitcoin that it's just not worth playing it just because you can't really actually predict it. It's just the whales, you know? Like if it's not a usable coin, then why invest in it? You know? It's all just speculation, and I, I don't have any idea what a whale is going to do better than anybody else. Now the treasures are starting to tick up.
Air Cages says okay, speculatorseth.
Okay. So I'm still on an inside bar.
Craig Ballin says anyone in last night on crude oil futures, what was the spike? Is it bear now?
Wait, what was the spike? You living under a rock? Pull up the CNBC head front page. That's all that anybody's talking about. Is the military commander getting taken out? Guys, why? Yeah, I am really surprised by how the E-mini is
JB
behaving.
says funny the way your speech bot pronounces speculator Seth.
Does it say it differently if there's a space?
Air Cages says BTC yearly low was $3,300. The high was $13,800.
So they're gonna go and push the high? Are you kidding me? Hmm. No, I do well in these news events, but I just gave back what I made and went negative. China urging restraint in the Iran deal and the Iran situation. See, I still want to go short. What? And they didn't. What's the high? I don't know. At the moment, I don't think that I can actually justify a trade here. Like the hourly is still positive.
JB says S managed to climb back above the January 2nd open at 3,237.00 briefly.
I mean, now it's flagging. I really need to change that. Evans, without inflation pressures, this is a very good setting. Hmm.
Craig Ballin says knew the news, didn't know it would create that type of reaction, need to obviously
Oh,
learn more
yeah.
about this stuff.
Well,
Colon closing parenthesis.
so here's the thing, Craig, is that military commander is like one of the big policymakers in Iran. That would be like if General Petraeus was killed or something like that. Like it's a big deal to them. Iran is probably going to retaliate in some way, but it might not be like an open retaliation, right? They might do cyber attacks and terrorist attacks, and that's, like underhanded, dirty stuff again. Okay. Well, this one is running for me, but they're coming into the absorption at 34, and let's see if they push through to the other side of it. I think they're going to want to try and get to that 32 area. You see how somebody's got a big order there on the other side of the volume profile?
Ace Trades says they might burn a few flags and then go back to watching their goats mate. Probably should erase this, it's rude.
Oh, that was kind of rude, Ace. I get how you feel though. Like Iran has been messing around and killing Americans for years now. And they attack an embassy. I mean, that was a real escalation. And I think that the United States response is entirely appropriate. Now, does it make sense from a strategic position? I don't know. I'm not privy to that kind of information, but come on. You can't expect to have your army essentially attack a U.S. embassy and think that the United States is just going to be like, okay, whatever, it's okay. Where's the buddies? It's not. That guy had it coming. Mm-mm.
Ace Trades says they are anti-civilization, they are trying to make the world go backwards to the 7th century, their false beliefs are harmful, and that is all I have to say about that.
Amen, brother. Um, is this gonna buzz out the bottom or should I take off? I feel like it should. I mean, the treasuries are still kind of bubbling up. Man, look at all that volume that went all the way up to 13. Like, wow. It'd be something else if they would get back up there to 13 in their treasuries too, won't it? Okay, so they're testing that bottom now. I think that they went through it. No, not quite. It's 32. Interesting that the way the cumulative delta is moving in the E-mini. Okay, there's a little click up there. It was off of a pull at 6.5 though.
Ace Trade says long signal at 3235.25.
Really? Mm. So 35 is the top of the volume profile.
Ace Trade says I'm not taking it.
Oh, look, it already stopped out. I think, though, that
Ace Trade says switch to sim to see if it's a good signal.
right. Well, we can wait and see if it goes another short. I mean, there's that volume down there at 34 didn't go away, so
Ace Trade says there is a point at least.
yeah. Um. So was that the first signal that you had gotten since that all of that?
Ace Trade says no, I just have not been paying attention.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. That's cool. I was just thinking. I was like, it was 35.25, right? Given where it is now, that means to me that there wasn't an imbalance.
Ace Trade says I felt bad, all the money everyone pays me, and I am just slacking.
Yeah, yeah. Work harder, Ace. I just want to do well on this E-mini, and I feel like that every time that I think I have a hang of where it might turn around, I realize that I really don't. So now we're getting into the 38
Uzi
distribution.
Knesset says kinda surprised that despite the volatility, there's been some pretty solid value area plays today. Uzi Knesset says in ZB I mean.
Yeah.
Ace Trades says there is 2 points. I should have gotten back in with a couple of contracts.
It's kind of these big orders down here chasing it. I just. $30. Okay. Nope. 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 Okay. That's a little better. Still a lot of volume trading in the E-mini. Yeah. It's like push, 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 and then when it comes up, it just goes. Oh, you know what? You guys are still talking over here, and I can't hear you. There we go. Hmm. Guys, I guess I should just be looking for longs, or I guess I should just not trade the E-mini, man. That, or I need to increase my risk. Look for bigger risk, look for a bigger reward. So it seems like the kind of moves that I'm looking for are hard to get.
Ekareo says, has anyone here used Tradeovate for a broker? They seem to have a decent platform with very low commission fees. Their data feed is only $7 for CME. Ace Trade says, let's get you a long signal in the Amini.
I don't want to. That's the problem. I don't want a long signal. That's the real issue here is I want to short it for some reason. I don't know. The news was bad. They should sell. It's a bad manufacturing number. But apparently everything is good for the economy. We make it, when we make jokes about, oh, this is good for Bitcoin, it's a joke. But when it's the E-mini, it's the freaking rule.
Ace Trade says, oh, okay, then maybe the market will do what you think it will do, lol.
Right.
Ace Trade says short signal 3237.00.
No, you're just telling me that because that's where I'm short from. Oh, man. No, I mean, I took this one. I don't know. Some of these, maybe I don't know what I was thinking. But I took this one because they were flagging up and dying out, and they tried it twice and failed. That's why I took it. And I saw some volume that seemed to suggest that spot. Like that. Yeah. So what if I had gone short? See, the treasuries aren't moving up. It's not. They're gonna bust me out. Well, that came back a little bit too easy, but they kind of seem to be making an ascending wedge, so.
JB says 3237.00 is the year, month, and Q1 open.
Oh, really? So there's a reason why they're trying so hard to keep it above that, huh? Although I don't know if it's so much that they're trying hard as it is that there seems to be a lot of people that tried going short.
Ace Trade says also, it wasn't a bad short, lol.
If it goes. Maybe I need to make a rule that if I make a losing trade that I can't trade for 15 minutes or something like that. So I took one at 01, 03, 04, 06, 09, 15. That to me, I don't know if there's really signals in those. I'm just wanting to click it short.
JB says as long as they don't grind you up and spit you out, it's a good place to try a long.
In the E-mini. Right, because he's saying now that all of these things are positive. It means that the shorts took it and just all exited it and it brought it up and it's positive, and so the balance is still to the upside.
JB says make a rule that 2 losers in a row stop trading for the day.
Yeah.
Ace Trade says it, J. Ace Trade says it, JB, that is my rule for sure. JB says 2 in a row means you're just not seeing the market.
I usually do it at 3. You can see though that this price seems to be acting as support for the time being.
JB says, I usually do it at 3, means you're a stubborn ass.
Yeah, it does. Or that I took them on sim, which I did.
JB says horse.
There you go. $35? This chart is distorting my perception because
JB says was looking for a donkey icon.
yeah, is there not a donkey icon? All right, well, here's where we should be looking for the short, right? Is 35.75.
JB says donkey.
It's interesting that I have the week, and how is that possible? You see this, JB?
Harlequin says Happy New Year guys, just tuned in 5 minutes ago, maybe don't go for amount of losses, consider ticks. Let's say you have 3 1 tick losses versus 1 4 tick loss. Let's say after 10 ticks loss you are done.
So hourly is green,
JB
daily
says burrow,
is red,
mule.
weekly is green, and monthly is... it's weird. Okay, like there they busted it again. Why is it weird? Yeah, it's not.
JB says why is it weird?
I'm just crazy. It's oh, okay.
JB
you're talking
says
about
the
that.
week started in 2019.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know. I didn't think that it was possible to have
JB
them
says
like
the
that,
month
but I
and day
guess it
started
is.
in 2020.
Oh,
Harlequin
I
says
gotcha.
man this Amini. Had a long signal right after the PMI, but the number was bad and thought it would drop.
Right, Harlequin. We're sharing shared experience here. I'm like, what the fuck?
Ace Trade
Sell
says
it.
that Harlequin
Good
you
grief.
and Seth both. Hit it or quit. It says I'm trading with Trade of 8, but they have an odd way of handling margin that I'm still trying to figure out.
Oh, really? But I mean, isn't the data rhythmic? I mean, for those sorts of things, the data provider usually matters more than the broker. Your rhythmic or CQG, and you just look up, opened it up in rhythmic or CQG thing and see your margin there.
Harlequin says that's why I usually stay out for the first 2 weeks in January.
Well, I assume that they think that because manufacturing is not doing so well, that there's zero chance of the Federal Reserve raising interest
Ace
rates
Trade
this
says
year.
Hit it or quit it. I've never used anything other than AMP, Sierra.
Therefore, it's a buy.
Minster Games says good morning everyone, looks like the bulls have this market.
Yeah, it
Ekareo
really
says hit
does.
it or quit it. Can you explain a little more about that?
Mm, mm,
Ace Trade says at Harlequin I've had a good month so far.
It's still buying.
Minster Games says I'm a huge gold investor.
Okay. So there was this outside bar in the E-mini hourly at 32.40.
JB says the week opened at 3,238.25 but it was still 2019 when the week started.
Yeah, I understand why it is now. It makes sense now. So everything agrees except for the day. But if this hour goes negative, then maybe it's game on. Oh, I need to come over here. I don't know how long I've had it on that screen for.
Ace Trade says at Minster Games maybe you should try intermittent fasting?
Where did that come from? And look, there's another bid up above us.
Ace Trade says he said he was huge?
And just watching this, and I still think it's going to go down. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Hold on just a second. Not that time.
Ace Trade says trade what you see, not what you think.
Well, if I say think, then I also say see. Okay, hold on. I don't see the short yet. I really want to see the 39 level fail.
JB says right because S opened today, Globix, at 3,261.00.
The problem is that it makes you see things that aren't there, right? Okay, that was a sweep.
JB says I tell him that all the time at ACE Trades and he always says he doesn't think so.
I mean, I try and keep the context engaged, but I want to see what I think is going to happen and what I see in line, right?
Ace Trade says at JBO that Seth, kids these days.
Kids these days. Did you see that pull at 38? They know.
Hit it or quit. It says in my experience, when given a daily margin of say $500, if your account has $500 in it, you can open a trade with one contract. With trade of 8 at least with micro contracts, if given the. JB says lol.
Oop, okay. Okay. Now that one is finally doing what the way that the trade was supposed to work out, right? I wanted to see the hourly go negative and fail the weekly and quarterly and all that stuff. And sure enough, there was
JB
a
says
huge
wooden
impulse
head,
when it
wooden
happened.
shoes, wooden listen. JB says I think he's got Dutch heritage.
I finally did it right, right, JB? Here's the thing, like, we got to figure out, like, I need to get deep in the psychology. We got to figure out where the disconnect between what I know and actually doing it is. I mean, there are some things that maybe we haven't proven to myself, but like that was the trade that is working really well, right? Actually, working a little too well. Wow, good idea. But I don't know why. I don't know what it is. Like, well, no, I know why. I know why. I don't know how to stop it. I don't know how to stop it without having somebody sitting next to me and saying, "Okay, Seth, this is stopping me." Good idea. Which trade? So the trade was, um, I went short, um, at the hour open when it came down to 38.25. I don't see a trade in your charts. No, look at my DOM here. You see there's numbers in this column? This little the danger is they let you open a position with say $60 and then 2 points against you. They close your position and fine you, hit it or quit it. Oh yeah.
JB says good idea. IQ says wooden ears.
I'm just
JB
gonna read
says
all
which
three
trade?
messages.
JB says yeah. Ace Trade says wood everywhere.
That's
JB says
funny.
I don't see a trade on your charts.
Oh, funny,
Hit it
funny,
or
funny, funny, funny. Let's close that. No, so hit it or quit it. If you're gonna trade, you want to have way more margin than like. So if it's 50 for a micro, you don't want to have $50 in there, right? Because if you get below 50, and it kind of depends on the broker, but they will close you out, and that is the quote unquote blew your account, right? That's the one where you get like a they had to act to take you out of the position, and if they take you out of the position, then they charge you. Yeah. Okay, so we came to 33 and there was some support there and we're bouncing off of it a little bit now. Everything is red though on my thing. Funny. The treasuries are going wild here. The spreaders are going wild. I can see some big spread trades going through in the treasuries. It looks like they're buying the 5 and selling the 10. No clue what you're looking at. With which part? Sorry, you're probably a little bit delayed. You might want to refresh your page, JB. Like just hit F5 on your browser window. Hmm. Mm. 3 seconds delayed. Oh, okay. If you're talking about the spreads, you can't see it, but here behind me, you can see in the tapes, you can see a bunch of robots, and the orders are going through in the 5 year and the 10 year at the same time. Oh, okay. So there's some spreading. Some spreaders are taking positions, most likely. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, you were talking about putting a trade on when the hour opened. Not sure what contract or what hour. Okay, yeah, sorry. Um, the open of this hour was 32:38.25. And when they failed that level, that's where I took it short. You see right here? There was the open. Sorry, right there. You can't see the line, but there's a wick there, right? There was the open. We were above it. When this candle came down and broke it, I took it short. That was the trade. Now the question is, should they go further or not? Because they definitely bumped into a support on the order flow. And I don't know if they're going to go back and test it again or not. The treasuries may still drift up, though. I suppose that because the cumulative delta is equalized, that it's probably that could be a reason to take it off. Hmm. Some sweeps still. And the treasury's uptick. You mean the open of the half hour? Yes. But technically, the bar you used to base your entry on there was actually neutral grayed out when you chose that place to get short. Yes. Like at that moment, it was gray, and I took it, and then seconds later, it was red, of course. Watch of all here yesterday's low. Yesterday's low. Really? Wait, really? Oh, you're right. That was 35.50. Well, they seem to be shoving it down again. Hmm. I mean, this is a problem. This isn't the first runner I've had today, right? The other one that I had actually went 20. No, 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 no. Actually, I haven't had a runner that went this far, other than the winner that we took earlier. Okay, well, now that we're through that spot, the next liquidity level is at 30. We could also try measuring this. Let's say to there. 30.75. Okay. Mm-hmm. I have to say also, if that's where they like settle, it's pretty bad, right? Oops, play it back up here. Yeah, JB says it might be a nice entry after the fact, but it doesn't meet any of the quote unquote rules we're trying to understand. Yeah, because it wasn't like on a doji or anything like that. So like take it back though. Like it's kind of a similar concept though, right? If we're on the close to the open of the day and then we're getting to where the day is about to go negative, then you might expect to see a lot of people start stopping out as it goes negative. And so it was the same thing. They started the hour out, the hour was positive. They ran out of steam as they made a new high, and then they went back and they tested the open of the hour and they just completely failed it. And then 30.75 would be 50% retracement of the up move since the open, mind you. Now, maybe it's going to go further because now cumulative delta is starting to. I don't know. There's also this 30.25, this white candle. And just keep an eye on it, right? And this was a white candle right here at 36, so that makes sense. That's giving it a lot of room to ride, though. Okay. Yeah, fighting back and forth there quite a bit at 32, 33, 50. Hmm. Okay, so I think that this is my out. Okay. So I got out because we were flagging up. I mean, maybe I'm going to regret that. Oh, that's weird. I look that now they go a little bit lower. Trade of 8 seems to have crazy issues. Charts keep changing on their own to a different instrument. So I haven't used their platform before to have any idea about what would be causing that, but just a wild guess. Are you perhaps have key bindings that you're typing and then it's changing them? Or is it like you're just sitting there with the mouse over the chart or whatever, and then the chart just changes on its own? Because that's a pretty wild bug. But maybe that's something that you should contact Tradeovate about and report back to me how well they do. Because that's been one of the questions that I've been having is like, okay, how much does the support that you get from your broker really matter? JB says he sent me a screenshot. Here's how I see that entry of yours. Oh, wait, let me open it up bigger. Oh, you have it placed at that doji. You say the target should be 28 based on extensions. Okay, so hold on. So you're going over here. I see what you're getting at. You're saying, wait, hold on. Where are you? Create a different workspace, just like an NT8. Then if you open a workspace with NQ charts, sometimes it changes the charts of the previous workspace. Perhaps you have the instruments linked based on the move lower before the open. So you're saying that if I take a drawing tools here, Fibonacci extensions, and I take it from what? From here to here to here or something like that. No, that's not where you drew it from. You drew it from here to here to here. Is that really the right spot from the open? Sure. Okay, cool. That makes sense. Um, I was also kind of thinking like 5 points is really good. $29 makes sense. 30 makes sense though. Like for me, this 30-25 makes a lot of sense because look at all the orders sitting back there. Oh, you can't see that. Hold on. Do you see here on my? It might be it's really hard to see, but you can kind of see there's some liquidity there. They were kind of flagging a little early though. I don't know. I think I got out too early. But the right side, the zero line I placed where you said you entered your Ouija board chart. Yeah, I see it. Telling ya. Just, I mean, like, look at this one right here. You see this little support right there? And then what does it do? Twice. I can almost guarantee you. I don't know if on the larger time frame it's going to go, but when it gets there, they're going to bounce off of it at least once. In fact, they're already doing it. They came up just a little short, and everybody's taking profits early. So if I got out too early, where did I get out at? 33. Okay, so there was maybe another 10, 15 points in it. Now there's this white candle, 34.50. When I first started trading, I had a subscription to Bookmap and loved it. Really? Bookmap is that old? Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But then Futures Trader 71 got involved and the pricing got ridiculous. Man. Like, so tell me what you're thinking, because I think we can talk about this on stream, but like, I got like my histograms and all this sort of stuff, and people are like, I got another guy asking me, like, people will find me on Facebook to ask me. So if any of you guys are listening and you want to contact me, that's cool. And I am in a spot right now where I can pretty much talk to anybody about whatever it is that they need to talk about. Okay. But please do it on Discord. Discord is the best way to get a hold of me. Because when you get on Facebook, it's like, I might not see the message request. It might think that you're spam. And I kind of have to lock that down a little bit because of family and all of this other drama that's been going on with Vinny and all that sort of stuff. So please find me on Discord. But people ask me about those histograms almost every day. and so I feel almost obligated at this point to and Discord seems like a good way to get in trouble. Discord's a great app, look, okay? But no, so I almost feel like obligated at this point to make it available to everybody. But like, I feel like that I should make it available for a price that is actually what it's worth. Like that is a real price, because I think that some things in the market are overpriced. But how I figure that out and everything, I think that it kind of has to be based on how many hours I spent on it and how many people I think can actually buy it, and then figuring out that's how I've kind of been doing the math. So I'm thinking like um that I could offer it for like $50 or something like that. Like if I had enough stuff in there, $50. Do you guys think that that would be reasonable if you got the histograms and the stat charts and probably the aggregated tape, maybe, or maybe we make the aggregated tape separate. Mm-mm. Well, I got out of that early, but I was not imagining things. There was like a few too many people short at that point. Make it a 1 year subscription for $100. Renews in 12 months with minor updates. A major rewrite would mean a small price increase. Hmm. I don't know. I don't know if that's like the thing that goes through my head when I think about it, especially the histogram, is like if you didn't give me the if I lost the code, I could rewrite the histogram in an afternoon. I know a pro trader who sells all kinds of indicators. He told me he uses none. That's funny, man. So I'm just thinking, like, okay, for something that if they knew really how to do it, they could do it in an afternoon. Should I really be charging them hundreds of dollars for it? I don't think that would be accurate market price. But I think that like $50 is reasonable for a solid set of software. Especially if I'm giving you the stats, because the stats one was actually took a lot of work to make. I've given you the stats before, right, JB? Not hundreds, 100. Well, yeah, but then you're saying it's a subscription, so, and that's another thing that I don't like. So I think that if you buy the software, it should be yours forever. I think that it should be okay. So let's say that it's 100, then it would be 100, and you get minor updates, but you would not get major updates. If you got major updates, then you would have to pay an upgrade. The price would probably go up on the next version, and then you would pay the difference. Something like that. But is it worth $100? I don't know. So and this is where like I don't have the data. So it's like, how many people would be willing to buy it at 50 but wouldn't be willing to buy it at 100? Has anyone heard of buy side indicator? It's for NinjaTrader. I have not heard of that. I bought the market profile indicator from FineAlg years ago for $249. Yeah, and see, I think for a market profile, that's reasonable. Yeah, that does sound reasonable. So I guess for the stats and stuff, 100 it makes sense. When NinjaTrader 8 came out, he offered me an upgrade for NinjaTrader 8 for $89. Yeah, but does it do anything that the NinjaTrader 8 one, man, he probably got screwed over, huh? Subscription is a thought I have had many I never use anymore, but just never bothered to cancel. Gyms make a fortune this way. Yeah, live action. Well, I've noticed with my Patreon, because I post those charts, which by the way I should probably go and do. Um, and I've noticed that the people that subscribe when Ninja what sorry, if there is a rush up in the Bitcoin market, then I usually get a couple new subscriptions. And then when the market is going down, people give up. So my CMA guy who gives me my trades is so cheap. I just don't kill his family, and he texts me all during trading hours. Man, like I've been trying to deconstruct it, Ace, and it's starting to mess with my head. Because the thing that we're looking at with just at the closes of significant time periods seems to match up sometimes, but it's definitely not that. His market profile is miles ahead of Ninja Traders. Oh, okay. I know. I just look at like I just don't see what else I would want that would really matter. As long as it draws the thing, that's all I care. That's all I care about. Um, oh, you know what? You're probably getting lag. I'm sorry. I clicked the wrong button. They're going to come back up hard. Maybe they'll just end at 36. Picture a twister spinner hooked up to that thing ET used to phone home, powered by an old radar set from a B-52. See, like I'm guessing that it's going to be something like stupid simple, right? Like you're going to look at some price level, and then it's going to be, so many ticks past that. And then there will just be like one or two rules, and that's it. I'm guessing. Yeah, talking about how Ace's strategy works, because he hasn't told us. He just gives us the trades that are amazing. And he seems to know when it's going to fail too, which is really interesting. You'll be like, I got this one, but I'm not taking it. And then those are the ones that don't work. I have a pigeon on a tic tac board where it poops. Echo is Java similar to C sharp? Yes, actually, they're quite similar. Mainly because they are both have their own memory management built into them. Their syntax is of course different. The thing is if you know how to program in Java and C sharp, then the only thing that you don't really know about for programming is memory management. Then you got to do the C++ thing. And honestly, that is becoming a dying breed. The C sharp C++. Like there's newer languages like Rust and even Golang is even that are kind of taking over that space. Okay, so now they come back up to 36 and there's some liquidity adding there. So maybe they will balance here again. I suppose it's possible that they try selling it down again, but ugh. Ruby, Python. Okay, so Python and Ruby are different. So Python has the indentation of your text matters, which is what drives me nuts about Python. Other than that, it's great. But Python is probably a really good one to learn if you're going to do financial programming, because there are so many machine learning libraries and that sort of a thing for Python that a lot of people really like to use it for that. Um, Ruby is weird, right? So what the thing with Ruby is like, in programming languages, you'll have like an object, right? And then an object could be like a collection of things. And then there are some methods that you could call on that collection, like sort it or return to me the biggest one or the smallest one or things like that, right? And so language has already had this concept of like here's an array list, and here are the methods that I can call on the array list, right? But you could still go through and like, for each on the array list, and there was a structure built into the language to do iteration. But in Ruby, iteration is just another method that you call on the object. And I mean, they do have the control structures too, but it wasn't like the way that the language was designed. So there are some really funky things in Ruby that if Ruby is like your first language, you'll go to other languages and you'll be a little bit lost. I wouldn't necessarily recommend Ruby as a first language, but it's not hard to learn either. But I don't know. I feel like that for retail trading and trading a robot, that the best system out there right now is C# and NinjaTrader 8. Primarily because of the backtester built into it. You can learn so much about your strategies just from backtesting it. And usually what you're going to learn is that it doesn't work. So, I don't know. Okay, so let's type some stuff here. Where are we? Oil is dropping like a fly. Let me see. Oh my. Right. Something happening. Shift to be briefed Friday on Iran Soleimani strikes. Oh, we had the oil inventories. That's probably why oil's moving like that. I don't know where it'll balance. E-mini looks balanced. What about the treasury here? I want to know from this move right here. Well, we're well above a 50% level. If we just go to straight the news, straight the news bar, then it's we're still above that even. What about this move? And the overnight one? Those are all kind of in the same spot. What about cumulative delta wise? No. In fact, there's weird things going on in the treasuries. I don't think the treasuries are done. I think you could probably still be long treasuries. Except for that this hour bar is red. But like if this hour bar, like if we break a new high, we could be long. It says you got a long signal at 32.26. Oh wait, are we like delayed now? Or are you saying long at 36? I don't know. I don't think I want to trade after the London close here. And we are after the London close. I mean, ES might flag down again, but yeah, he said sorry, 36. The up makes a little bit of sense. I don't know. I lost $20 basically. And I think that I should just be grateful and try and chill out. Went too high from the new last night. Now correcting. I know I should have taken a short position this morning. Oh, and crude? Yeah, I don't know, man. Crude is just such a wild beast, right? I think that when we get these kinds of world events, it very often will really freak out markets for like a day, and then everybody forgets about it. You should stay. I'm definitely going to stay home today, but I know that you're also just saying that because you want to ask me programming questions. But we're gonna shut it down here in a little bit, and I'm definitely staying home because, like, the thing was, I mean, I went to bed at a good time, but I took the wrong cough medicine, so it didn't fix my cough. And man, I tried falling asleep for like an hour, and it just wasn't happening. So then I went downstairs and found the better one, and then after that, I was out cold. And I woke up and I felt well rested. Why am I still showing you my chart? This is how off I am. I felt well rested until I sat down. And I looked at myself in the camera and I'm like, I look like shit. I don't know. I guess I don't look that bad. But I don't look well, do I? So, and that might be why it's like when I'm sick, my ability to you look as devilish handsome as usual. Thank you, Mace. I think that when I'm my system is suppressed, that my ability to control my impulses is significantly diminished. And I'm not sure what I have to do to get myself to get back into a spot where I'm okay. Maybe it's that I need to put a timer on myself and not take another trade for a certain amount of time for like a new bar, you know? Because when I took those shorts, um, I think I took them all the way through this, right? Yeah, I did. It was all the way through this and all the way through this. And then I did go short and I got this. And then I got out somewhere around here and it went a little bit further. Your eyes look like Nemo's. You know they're looking for you. And they're looking for me. Well, I got... This is the thing that was so funny. Is those videos in there saying, "Oh, you don't look very good," and I'm like, "Hey, listen, I know that I just look like a normal guy. Don't try gaslighting me, okay? But I got weird eyes, right? Like I have big eyes, especially if I really open them out and you can see all sides of the eye. You know, I got big eyes. The thing is on the little babies and the ladies, the big eyes." People love it. People love it. I was telling my wife, I was like, we should probably have a girl because they're going to have huge eyes. And if it's a girl, everybody will think it's so cute. But with as a guy, they'll have the problems that I do, right? But he's a boy. So I'm sorry, son. If you're ever watching binge watching my videos in the future, you know, like heaven forbid something happens to me or whatever random reason it is that you end up watching this video, I apologize for giving you the bug eye gene, but it's just it's apparently it's a thing that society needs. If you ever, you know, there's a zombie apocalypse and they need a scout, then having the big eyes, you know, is a benefit. So that's just the way it is. It's not the size I was talking about this morning. Your eyes look, I don't know, glassy or watery. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Like Nemo's. If I open up the camera again. So, like, let me move it over here so that my eyes are a little bit more centered. So, ever since I started taking Stratera, my eyes water more for some reason. And I don't know if that's a thing or what. But that's why I always have like a Kleenex and I'm dabbing my eyes. I haven't had to dab it a whole lot since I took my medication. And lately my eyes have been irritated, but I think today they look pretty clear. I usually have really red eyes, huh? Like you can see there in the corner of the eye there, on my right side, or what you can see is the left. You can kind of see a blood vessel there. You see that? You might not be able to see it with the YouTube quality. But yeah. So my eyes are always kind of a little bit glossy. It's also different because I had this I was present for the bong passing this morning. Yeah. I got one of those. So for Christmas, I bought one of those ring lights. And at first I was putting it back there because I thought, hey, having two lights would maybe make it look a little bit better. And it does, like it's more even light, but it's not like a big enough difference to matter. And I kept pulling it out to make TikTok videos. So I think I'm just going to leave it behind me so that the kids will use it and stuff. Like maybe if they see it around, they'll be more prone to want to make a TikTok with it. Then maybe what I should do is I should make a TikTok with them and then they'll start begging me all the time to do that. Because my wife never lets them post pictures. 9:40. To be honest, I've never tried the hemp, nor do I have a desire to smoke anything. I run way too far to put smoke in my lungs. Oh, that's right. You're a runner. Yeah, I always, man, I'm pretty strict with the religious stuff, but if anything ever happened, which it wouldn't, but I have no desire. Like, if people are always like, how can you be Mormon? You can't drink or smoke or any of those things. And I'm always coming in like, man, I am so lucky that I grew up in a culture where all of those things were frowned upon, because I think that if I were to touch any of those things, I don't think that I would be able to dig myself out of it. So zero interest in doing that. And I know like a lot of ADHD people really like weed, but I also know, like, I watch my friends, okay, like all my Ray friends, and when they were young, when they were like 19, like I was 25 and they were like 19, okay? That's how this was working. And mostly guys. There's like a couple of rave guys, and there's like 3 or 4 girls, and they're all super smart. I thought that they were all really, really sharp, and they're still intelligent. Okay, like they can present a good argument to you, and they know what's going on in the world and everything. But there's just something about it, like especially after they took dabs. So a dab is like a really, really heavy hit of marijuana. And, I would go to a party a few times and they were doing dabs, and like, man, I'm sure that when you're on marijuana with other people that take marijuana, it's the greatest time. But when you're not on marijuana, it is just like, what the heck is wrong with you guys? But then ever after that, it was always like their thought process was messed up. It was like they thought things that were really dumb were cool. So ever after that, that was like, yeah, don't do it, guys. It'll make you less successful in life, I think. There's a couple of orders coming off there. Do you see that? On the market depth tape, bids at from 16.5 to 20 all came off. So somebody that was buying or that had bids, maybe they were going short. Somebody went home, I think. It's just before lunch, so that would make sense. I traded 40 years ago and never went back there after the first couple of tries. Yeah. Prediction Monday, Seth comes in wearing his new Ray-Bans and clicks his DOMs all over because he can't see it. Yeah. You know what? I should, like Dr. Disrespect, if you've ever watched, you probably none of you guys know who that is. But on Twitch, the most popular guy is Dr. Disrespect. And he plays video games with sunglasses. I don't know how he does that. How can you see things? But that's how he does it. E-mini came back way too high again. Like, I think we could short it from 38 to 36 again. Well, I'm not going to. I have to get on a call now. So it's time for me to go. I'm lucky that I didn't destroy my account, and we need to work on this. But I do think that a lot of it is being sick and like impulse control. So maybe the answer is that I just cannot trade live in those situations. You know what I mean? It's like showing up 4 hours after the party started. Everyone is laughing at something and you can't see what's funny. Yeah. Well, the thing is for them, they were like so far out of it that nothing was even funny. They were just like, whoa, because they like the lights and everything. Okay. Time for me to go. Interesting stream. I'll see you guys later. In the meantime, Monday should be good. Monday, Tuesday should be good, I think. Stay profitable.